It really is.
All right, let's go real quick, self-introductions. Daniel, just give us your name, who you're with, and kind of what you do.
Cool, thanks. I'm Daniel Tabar. I'm co-founder and president of Atom Montage. We are a small startup still. We've been around for a few years now, productizing this breakthrough we have. And I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, it's I flew in from Sweden yesterday, so I'm a little jet lagged. It's going to be a little, that effect in here. But
you'll feel it tonight. I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. So in a nutshell, what we do is we enable anyone to stream data of incredible detail, 3D data, from the cloud onto anyone's phone. And this is different from the typical 3D representations that everyone has with triangles and textures and so on. We use little cubes. These are called voxels.
Voxels, yep.
Yeah, so it's like the 3D version of a 2D pixel that you have on any monitor or screen, right?
Yeah.
And voxels is not a concept we came up with, but we have breakthroughs to make those voxels extremely small and work on anyone's phone. So we have an app in the app stores. You can find us there. But the demos are on there, and we have some really cool geo-related kind of use cases for it.
Yep. So explain again for the listeners what a voxel is.
Yeah,
exactly.
For sure. So you guys are all familiar with your phone screens or TV screens. They have pixels on them that make up that image, right? Those are little squares, right, of color. And when we go from standard definition to high definition of 4K and 8K these days, that jump in resolution causes it's just mathematically going to be millions more pixels each time. And if you imagine now the 3D version of this, which is a little cube instead, where in 3D space you can represent things with cubes. But if you increase the resolution of those cubes, you have a whole nother dimension where that increase of data is happening in. And this is the fundamental computer science problem that we've solved, essentially. This is my co-founder banging his head against this problem for 20 years, making these breakthroughs. So voxels are a way to represent 3D data that is similar to how we use pixels for 2D images, but now there's 3D content. And we've used drone deploy, for example, to make these photogrammetry models of building sites or cool rock formations here in Phoenix, actually, that are super detailed. And usually you have to remove a lot of that detail with polygons, but we have this value add where you do not have to remove those details anymore. You can have sub-millimeter cubes representing these things, and you can view them on a phone anywhere. Wow. So this is the thing.
It's almost like a what three words.
Yeah,
right. for 3D, each one of these little voxels is its own what three words. So what about file size? Does this make the file size larger, or does it make it more manageable?
It's a great question. So it depends. It really depends on the data. If you have data that is really kind of sponge-like, you could say, like if you have stuff inside of a building as well, you end up with more data, especially with polygons. You have surfaces that are just many more surfaces. So it's like asking how long is a string. We have to look at the data. Does it become bigger or smaller? But the beauty of our solution is that you don't really care, actually. You upload whatever model you have that comes out of, let's say, reality capture, which spits out, without decimation, it can spit out hundreds of millions of polygons very easily. You can upload all of that to our solution. And at that point, you stop caring what the data size is, because we just take care of it from there. And it becomes 3D data in the cloud for you. So it's similar how you think about if you've ever done a YouTube upload. You have a large video file of whatever format, you upload it to YouTube. And once that's done, you and everyone else stop caring how big it was, what format it was. It just becomes a video in the cloud, right? And this is how we treat, or the experience of using a solution for 3D data, is that whatever format you have, whatever data you have, whatever detail you have, you upload it once, and then it's in the cloud, and it gets converted to our format that you can now have a URL you can send to anyone, and anyone on their phone can just access immediately. And this is the solution.
So talk about some of those. I'm curious, because it's essentially like a detailed viewer, right?
Yeah.
So talk about some of the use cases that you mentioned that really make this make sense.
Yeah. So there is one I have in the demo on the phone app in the store, so you can check this out. Anyone can check this out right now. It's in the Play Store, and you just search for our company name. It's Atom Montage. It's like montage of atomic building blocks. You can say Atom Montage, and you can install it in a couple seconds. You can connect to one of these demos, and one is a fire station construction progress kind of
we're looking at it right now.
Yeah, so it's on amazing. My phone, and it's the lower right one in the app. When you open it up, you can just hit that demo immediately. And you can see that it streams in the different stages of this fire station in Sweden where I live, that I scanned over the last couple of years that they were building it. And now you can see the finished fire station has incredible detail in, for example, the masonry here and even the sign of the fire station. And you can see it's almost millimeter resolution. We can actually exceed millimeter resolutions. We can go sub-millimeter if you want to, and it just works. Within 3 taps of installing that app, you're in this experience and you can see it. So this is clearly useful for anyone who has extremely detailed data like geo. When it comes to other use cases like, even cultural heritage, when they do scans of museum artifacts or archaeological objects, this is super, super important that you get all those cracks and details, captured, and you don't lose it in this decimation or simplification process that you usually have to go through, almost always have to go through with polygons, right? You have to reduce your detail, you have to reduce your texture size to make it run on a phone, but now you don't have to do that anymore. So.
Well, and you said the magic word there of cracks, and I can see that application when you're doing the inspections.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
You may lose some of that those small details, and when you have to disseminate the data, now you get that picture without having to do that.
Exactly, and it's a 3D picture, really. The picture is the right way to think about it, because these voxels really are just a 3D version of pixels, and if you have the capability to get the resolution up to where you capture all those sub-millimeter details like cracks and fissures or things that you want to deal with, even at depth. So we this is another thing. Polygons are only surfaces, right? So when you want to deal with data that comes at depth, some people we've talked with, they do X-rays of nuclear reactor shells and all these things. They care about cracks at depth, right? They worry about these cracks that are inside, and they use X-rays and all kinds of crazy machinery. So being able to represent that in 3D now is something we can provide also, because these cubes go inside the objects.
I think we need to make an introduction here to our paleontologist friend Tom.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, paleontology is actually very, very good. We've talked with a few actually. Would love to.
Yeah. We got a dinosaur guy.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, those kind of things are perfect.
Yeah. No, that's pretty exciting. So again, I'm just so intrigued by the whole voxel concept.
Mm-hmm.
So the voxel, is it created when the data is collected, or is it on the back end?
It's on the back end. So you will, as a typical geo person, like if you use a drone, like with Drone Deploy, which is what I used for this fire station, for example, you get all your images and you then turn it into a 3D model at some point. That is photogrammetry. This is not what we do. This is before we get involved in the process. Photogrammetry is notorious for outputting incredibly detailed surface polygon models that you have to decimate to use or view even, right? That's what you don't have to do. So you can stop before you lose your data and just upload your multi-gigabyte crazy model that you can't even open. You can upload it to us, and we will put little voxels to represent every single detail that you have, and we'll not lose any of it. Yeah,
crazy. So what's the business model like? Is it a subscription? Is it per project?
It's a SaaS thing. So we charge by the 3D space in the cloud, per 3D space in the cloud. We call these montages. These are just kind of about picture montages or video montages. These are 3D montages, we call them. So you upload not just one data set, you can upload multiple. You saw this fire station that has 5 different stages of the construction, right? And those are 5 different models that we can just let you upload and place however you want, whatever makes sense in your case. And that's it. It's just up to you to assemble your data however you want, and you don't have to worry about losing any of the detail.
Wow, that's amazing.
So what's the next step? What's next? I know you're still in startup mode, but I'm sure you're already thinking about what more use cases.
For sure, yeah.
And is there a measurement component coming at some point?
There is, yeah. We have measurement tools in there already, absolutely. And you can also do this interesting thing with the data if you really want to keep it editable, where you can actually dig into it and make changes as things change over time.
Yep.
There's so many use cases. I mean, even in the military, you can imagine like a battlefield that evolves over time, and you discover trenches and so on. These kind of things that are unfortunately happening in Ukraine, right? Like where they do a drone scan of a battlefield, and things get discovered. Things have happened, over time that they didn't, scan initially. You can make those changes to the data with these voxels. if anyone has kids, they're probably familiar with Minecraft. It's the best-selling game of all time. It's all cubes as well. These are voxels. Yeah. They're 1 meter voxels though. But what kids do in Minecraft is they dig into the ground and they discover things underground. They also build incredible castles and things with their friends. This is what we're making possible with our platform as well. So it's not just static data. It's also possible to change over time with editing tools and whatever new data you might want to add to it.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned Minecraft. We have a good friend, Elaine Ball, from the UK, and she's in the process of getting surveyors into Minecraft.
Awesome, yeah.
Which would be pretty cool.
Well, it's pretty cool, except they have 1 meter resolution, so that's not so cool. We would love to talk to her as well, because, we could actually get the Minecraft concept into a space where it actually makes sense at the resolution, start working with.
Well, that's another introduction we're going to make.
I think we're making all kinds
We are making all kinds of friends.
My trip
Sean.
from Sweden here is already paying off.
Very cool. Very cool. So before we let you get out of here, talk about your partnership with Drone Deploy and the value that they're bringing to what you're doing.
Okay, so the partnership doesn't exist. We use it as a customer just for our own testing.
Yep.
So this is where that Fire Station came from. I used Drone Deploy to make the flight plan for for the drone to take all the nice footage, and I loved it for that. I'm here also to learn about the latest and greatest visualization things that they have and the processing of the data they now do, because I used it a couple of years ago when it was basically only planning the actual flight for the drone and made that easy, but I just took the images off the drone and used it in photogrammetry apps that are separate from Drone Deploy and separate from our thing. But so I'm here to learn a lot and hopefully have a partnership come out of this. I mean, they might be interested in what we're doing too. Who knows?
Yeah. One more question before I let you go. Have you heard of Nicholas Edin?
I'm not.
Not.
Yeah. Is this the third intro?
No, not exactly.
Okay,
He's only probably the best Swedish curler.
Curling. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not up to speed on curling.
Not many people are.
Okay.
It's okay, Dan. Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for your time. This has been great.
One more time, Atom Montage.
Yeah, Atom Montage. So it's atom as in very small particle, and then montage as a montage, and they're pulled together. So it's not 2 M's. It's Atom Montage in one word. Yeah,
sounds cool.
Genius.
Cool, man.
Love it.
Find us on the app stores. You can do that right now. Play Store, iOS app store. Just you can within 3 taps see these things that I just talked about running live on your phone.
Consider it done.
Cool. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Appreciate it. Yep. Cheers.
Awesome. Good job, man. It's exciting.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. That was awesome. I really appreciate it. So I'm not kidding that I feel like it was worth the trip.
So do you have a business card, or should
I don't, but I love LinkedIn would be great. Yeah. So I'll give you a QR code
we'll connect
for LinkedIn. Yeah.
Let me get this app right now.
Sorry, I'm a little rambly and
No, it's great.
jet lag from it's just a little bit. There we go.